Morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Peter Lee from Managing Director of Goyang Convention Bureau. Welcome to Asia Destination Roundtable. Very tough change. We're facing a tough change, but anyways, we need to survive and we need to respond in the better way to the COVID situation. So, first of all, again, I'm very thankful for all participants. And first of all, I'm gonna very appreciate with the participation as speakers. And also, I'm very appreciate with the ICA, my close friends, and the Noor. We always, this time is already fourth time to co-organize the Asia Destination Roundtable. I think this seminar will be a good opportunity to share our ideas, to share the practice for the COVID situation. So, and first of all, I'm gonna announce today's speakers, and I want to provide a deep appreciation to them. Noor, and also I'm gonna, Noor Hamid as the Regional Director of ICA, thank you. And Mike Williams, training edge, he's always be a good friend for DMO. And also Miss Ichapa Yoswi, Senior Vice President of the TCEP. Really thank you. And Mr. Dato Sri Abdul Khani Daud, CEO of the MyCEP. And also Do-hee Kwak from Seoul CBB, and Suwon Francis Hong, and Dora An, Goyang CBB. These whole speakers, they will share their ideas and the practice of each cities. As a DMO director, I have a very deep concern about the current situation, especially for COVID. So, for example, so after the post-COVID, the mice value, how will change how the value of the mice industry is the change in their destination, and also that's up or down. And second my concern is how to persuade the local government to pay make about the city keep investing money into the mice industry. So, and then a third one is how DMO's role will be changed after the post-COVID situation. So the final one is, where do I start from? I think these whole questions will DMOs have that. So today's session, we will talk about these questions and find the solution together. So from now on, I'm going to talk to my the role to the Noor, and Noor will find a way and the solution together. Thank you, Noor. Please.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Kamsan Hamida. Good morning to everyone in Korea, and also any other people that's joining us live online with this Asia Destination Roundtable organized by the Goyang CVB. Again, thank you, Peter, for organizing this particular session. I think it is very important, despite the fact that we are not able to meet face-to-face, we are not able to travel, we need to still continue to do what we are supposed to do. I think so. This session is very important. So we, on behalf of ICA and also the Goyang CVB, we really appreciate all the attendees coming online with us. I will like to share my screen now with all of you. Basically, like what Peter has mentioned, this is in our 4th year. So minus the trip to Goyang, one of the cities that I love to travel to in Korea every year. You know, all the fantastic food, and most importantly is the friendly people that is in the city. When we talk about the current situation, which I think Peter has briefly mentioned, today's conversation is about a countermeasure and support plan by destination in relation to COVID-19. So I think for the next 2.5 hours, we're going to have 7 different speakers sharing their point of view, 3 from cities within Korea, 2 international destinations, Malaysia and Thailand, and also Mike William will be coming at the end sharing case studies from different parts of the Asia Pacific region. I think this is important that for us to move forward we need to be resilient. We need to really understand how can we evolve further. The big question is that, will we be like this forever? This is the new normal that everybody is talking about. But how long this is going to be? Some people say that, if you read the report from the World Health Organization, most probably the first vaccine will come in only end of 2021. Hopefully that we can come to that stage. So, and United Nations World Tourism Organization says that at least it will take 2 years after the first vaccine come out, that travel will be back to at least to some normalcy. So this is a challenge that everybody's facing in terms of reopening their travel bubble. I like to use this analogy of obstacle. Human being is just like ants. Sometimes we do move in groups or in line, but when we have a problem in front of us, that also provides us with an opportunity. So today we're going to talk about what are the opportunities through all the presenters that is coming towards us. But what we see from an ICA perspective is that, is it we are trying to reinvent ourselves? Is it we are coming up to do new things to bring business to our destination? Or is it just what I call a copy economy? You see other destinations are doing some kind of support, subvention. You also are doing the same. So, copy economy is not wrong, but, it's also good that you can innovate things on your own. Like Peter has mentioned earlier on, we have 5 fantastic destinations, Goyang as a host, Suwon, as well as Seoul, and then we have Malaysia and Thailand to share their experiences. So these are the speakers, and I'm just the moderator here. So again, to all audience, we hope that you stay put and enjoy the presentation from all the destinations. So without further ado, I'd like to call the first presenter, Dora Ann from the Goyang CVB, to do your presentation. I will stop my screen now. Dora, please.
Hello, my name is Dora at Goyang Convention Bureau, and I'm in charge of the supporting MICE events to be held in Goyang. Today, my presentation is about how Goyang responds to COVID-19 situations and how we support for the MICE sector. I will show you my presentation. As stated in this slide, I divided my presentation into 3 parts: the Goyang City Government and the MICE venue and facilities, and the Goyang CVB. I will talk about how Goyang City has been taking action against the COVID-19 situation at each side of the perspective. Please let me elaborate on these points at my presentation. The first, Goyang City Government. First of all, when the outbreak of the COVID-19 situation has occurred at the beginning of this year, Goyang City has established the very first drive-through screening center in Korea. Drive-through testing center is a drive goes through the entire testing process for register and get a medical checkup and submit a specimen collection while sitting inside the cars. In the general screening stations, the 40 samples can be collected, but in this drive-through station, 120 samples can be collected. In addition, it usually takes about 30 minutes for collecting one specimen, whereas it only takes about 10 minutes in this drive-through station. In COVID-19 situation, the speedy testing is the most important way of preventing the spread of the infectious disease. At this point of view, Goyang is taking proactive actions, and it was so marvelous, and it drew a lot of the attention from other destinations. Starting from the Goyang City, the Gwangju, Jeonju, Seoul, and Busan also established the drive-through screening centers. Even the CNN and US ABC News and the Other daily news also feature this leading system and cover the story over the media. Finally, it was designated as the best model of the operating a drive-through center by the Ministry of the Health and Welfare of Korea. I will show you a short video clips on Goyang City's achievements. Please wait for a second. Can you see the video clip?
Yes.
I will show you. I'm so proud that I belong to the Goyang City. And not only this drive-through station, but also Goyang has established a working through screening station for the immigrants. They use the camping sites nearby the Kintex. The immigrants who comes from the Incheon International Airport takes a limousine bus and get off at this station for a medical checkup. After this, the immigrants also get a self-testing kits for preventing the secondary infections to the others. These proactive actions made Goyang safe and relaxing destinations for the visitors and the local people. And Goyang is also providing the alert service by sending the text message through the SNS. And also Goyang City is disclosing the information through the SNS channel, such as the blog and the Instagram and the Kakao Talk. And when we enter some place, we need to read the QR code for leaving the entry log. However, Goyang City government found that it's not an easy way for its seniors to do so because they are usually unfamiliar with the new technology. So the Goyang City has launched the Goyang Safe Core service for the first time in Korea. It inputs the entry log into the automatic system by just one phone call. Its service became prevalent in more than 100 spots in Goyang, and many other cities are trying to benchmark this service from the Goyang City. Now I will move on to the MICE facilities. I'd like to highlight that Kintex is the #1 Korea's convention center, not only in the scale, but also in the crisis management. When the MICE industry was faced with the pandemic, Kintex has promptly established a system of the contingency measures. In preparations for the exhibitions to be held in Kintex, nearby hospitals and the quarantine authorities were notified of the event in advance. Kintex has installed the thermal imaging cameras and facial recognition thermometers at the entrance. Also, they set up the hand sanitizers and plastic gloves for the visitors in every corner of the venue. The visitor who shows the signs of fever was directly transported to the nearby hospitals. Also, they installed the entry light at 1.5-meter intervals on the floor, and the second body temperature measurement was done by the non-contact thermometer. They frequently monitored the visitor status, and they checked if they still wear the facial masks or not. More than 50 staffs from the Kintex and event organizers are dedicating to quarantine activities for the day of the events. Due to this effort, Kintex has achieved none of the confirmed pace during the shows for the last months and received a lot of the spotlight from many organizations. The KDCA, the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency, the core government body of the Korea in recent days, also introduced the Kintex as the best model of the preventing and controlling the infectious disease. And the Sonokam Goyang, the only 5-star hotel in northern part of the Gyeonggi province, also have a systematic preventive measures for COVID-19 situation. The hotel disinfects the venue every day and places the support steps at the entrance. And also the hotel signed the MOU with the Goyang City to provide the special offers on the hotel room charges for the families of the suspected cases. The unique venue, Hyundai Motor Studio, also installed a thermal imaging camera at the entrance and check out the visitor status every day. Not only this venue, but also the other MICE venues in Goyang are also trying to cooperate with the government body in terms of the preventing the spread of the epidemic. Lastly, let's see how Goyang CBB has been responding to COVID-19 situation. The first thing we have done for the MICE sector was revising the support program. As you all know, COVID-19 situation has changed all the formats of the events that we adhere to.
Dora, can I stop you there, Dora?
Yeah.
Can you unshare and share back your PowerPoint, because I think the PowerPoint is not moving. Sorry that I interrupt you. If you can move to the next slide.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. The Goyang CBB parts. The first thing that we have done for the MICE sector was the revising the programs. As you all know, COVID-19 situation has changed all the formats of the events that we adhere to. So it was necessary to focus on the new norms of the MICE industry, such as supporting the hybrid and digital events rather than the live events. We determined to acknowledge the online participants as the same as the offline attendees. Thereby, we can expand the scale of the support. Considering the conditions that we cannot travel abroad, we also lower the qualification of the getting support. And for the new project related to COVID-19, we created another new support program for the meetings. We are providing the subsidy on the equipment, system, and manpower so that we can help to host a digital meeting without a huge burden. And I'd like to draw your attention to the following example. About 2 weeks ago, we have supported the Korea and China Franchise Industry Conference, which was a hybrid event. Even though there is only less than 100 participants at the site, it required a big budget for a transmission of the broadcast to the Chinese channel. So we provide a subsidy for the installment of the broadcasting system and equipment rental fees. Due to this support, approximately 15,087 participants took part in these events, and it was a greater success than we expected. This is one of the best examples how our support program has changed. And on last September, we published the digital meeting guidebook for the event organizers who are not used to hosting a digital meeting. It covers the terminology of the digital meetings and how to host a virtual meeting and information on various types of the online platforms. You can download it from our website as free of charge. And we also have the Goyang MICE Incubator Center right next to our office. Many small and medium-sized of the MICE companies reside in this center under the support of the Goyang City. And in order to make a safe working space for them, we disinfect the space twice a day and ventilate it for fresh air inflow. We also installed a thermal imaging camera at the entrance and check out the visitors' body status every day. And we also set up the acrylic sneeze guard on the tables at the meeting room. And we also made the COVID-19 souvenirs for our clients, such as the facial mask strap and the facial mask sterilizer. These were also being distributed to the participants throughout the Goyang Destination Week. Lastly, we are continuously doing the physical distancing campaign throughout the online channels, such as the Instagram and Facebook and the e-newsletter. This is how Goyang City and MICE venue, and we are taking action against the COVID-19 situations. We are, even though we are having some difficulties, it is also give us a challenge and the opportunity to cooperate each other under the same circumstance. I hope you can get over it soon, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dora, for that presentation on initiative done by the Goyang CVB. I think one of the unique things that I see from your presentation is that other than, of course, the first in Korea drive-through test that spread throughout the country, I think that's very good to ensure the safety of the community, not just people in the MICE industry. But I think the support provided by the Bureau, especially to event organizers on the technology side, I think that is very profound because especially when you have 1,000 of people online, you definitely need to have a system that can accommodate that kind of crowd. So, we are all new to this kind of environment. We used to organize big events with large crowd on site, but not all online. So I think it's a very good initiative to see that the Bureau is actually doing this. So thank you for that. I'm sure
Thank
that
you.
for the audience that have questions, you can post your question on the Q&A box, or you can also put in your comments on the chat. Again, we apologize that the video that Dora played just now was without the sound, but I'm sure that you can see the caption underneath. And then maybe Dora, later on the chat box, you can share the hyperlink of the YouTube video so that the people following this session can also watch the video at their own time. Okay, thank you, Dora. Thank you, Peter from Goyang CBB. Now we go to our second speaker, my very good brother and friend, Dovi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Nice
really.
meeting you again.
Yeah. So are you ready to present to us what Seoul City is doing, especially from the Seoul Tourism Organization?
Yes, I have a very short presentation and a very short video clip at the end.
Okay. Okay. Please go ahead and start your presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Can we all see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Dovi at the Seoul Tourism Organization. Today, I'm here to promote Seoul as a MICE destination and what we do against the COVID-19. When it comes to MICE destination, I would say Seoul is one of the fastest growing new destinations because we have the accessibility. There are direct flights from 184 cities from different countries. And we have the MICE infrastructure. Seoul has 6 convention centers, 50 unique venues, and 58,000 hotel rooms ranging from business to 5-star hotels. And we also have a strong support program. It consists of 3 different parts: bidding, promoting, and hosting stage. And the maximum they can receive is up to 250 million Korean won. That's about 210,000 US dollars. And apart from the financial support, there are many others we offer. For example, site inspections, recommendation letter from the mayor of Seoul, promotional video clips, and more. I'll give you a little more details about the financial support. We start supporting conferences with a minimum of 50 international delegates in 3 different stages. First, bidding stage up to 30 million Korean won. And second, promoting stage up to 20 million Korean won. And the final hosting stage, 200 million Korean won, which is approximately 170,000 US dollars. And apart from the financial support, we also provide comprehensive support. We give bidding clinics, site inspections, recommendation letters, Seoul promotional video clips, and Seoul MICE supporters, etc. Plus, due to the current COVID-19 pandemic, Seoul is providing various disinfection services and insurance package, including the concierge service to keep the participants safer from the virus. For instance, we offer disinfection services twice a day at the venue, and also installing this disinfection gate at the venue. I just mentioned the insurance package. It's Seoul's MICE Easy Travel Care service. It covers six different services, including the concierge service only for the foreign visitors. And they are medical care, travel care, airport care, business care, traveler's insurance, and the concierge call center operation. Seoul also provides thermal imaging cameras and hygiene kits, which consist of facial mask, hand sanitizers, antimicrobial wipes to make your events even safer from the virus. With all of MICE infrastructure and programs we have, Seoul is provided by the mountains and a large river through the center of the city. So when they are finished with the meetings and conferences, people can easily go for the outdoor activities. So it's a very international city. For instance, English is very common in Seoul. There are plenty of international restaurants across the city. Some of the shopping complexes open for 24/7. The city is totally safe. Like, let's say you go outside, take a walk 2 a.m, you'll be perfectly fine. So for all of these reasons, I must say Seoul is the perfect MICE destination. And I'll show you a short video clip.
Okay, cool. Dovey, we can't see your video. Can you unshare and reshare back your video, please?
You can see it?
No, we can't see your video. You have to share the screen again.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Take your time. This is a new normal for all of us, and without the tech support at home, and I don't think we can do that.
I think I'm gonna have to skip that. I don't. It froze. It froze on my thing too.
Okay, no worries. Just share your PowerPoint again.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to skip. I'm gonna have to skip the movie clip. Did it work?
Yes, the video worked very well.
Thank you. Thank you.
You want to share the screen for the PowerPoint back, or?
I'm done. I'm done with the presentation.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
So, that's all from you, Adobe.
Yes, that's all from me.
Okay, that's a very quick presentation.
Yes, it was.
Okay, maybe if I can take some time with you, if you don't mind, if I just throw some question to you. I think it's good to see a lot of the people coming online, introducing themselves. We can see people coming from Seoul, good friend like Grace, Jiyun, from Yeosu City, from Daegu, from Goyang, of course. Okay. So, if you are following this webinar, the Asia Destination Roundtable, please use the chat box to type in your name and your organization. Or if you have any question, please share that with us as well. So, Dovey, I think we still have a couple of minutes with you, if you don't mind if I throw some question. So,
sure.
How did Seoul Tourism Organization work with your stakeholders, especially like you mentioned, you have the hotels, the unique venues, the PCOs, people in the MICE industry. Do you had any meetings with them or any conversation or discussion with them on how you can slowly rebuild the MICE activities for the city?
Yes, we were having a hard time these days. We are trying to give more financial support. We give more financial support. When do hybrid events, we give 20% more than what we used to give. Mm-hmm. And if they do only pure online event, we give 80% of what we used to give. And we are trying to support them with the thermal imaging cameras, mm-hmm. and thermometers and things like that. Mm-hmm. And we are still keep looking, for what we can offer.
But how's situation in Seoul now?
It's getting better. It's getting better. It's been better than the summer. but they say when the winter comes, it's going to get worse. So people are being very cautious. Everyone's washing their hands, wearing masks. But things are getting better here.
Other than MICE, tourism is also a very important sector for the city.
Oh, yes, yes.
How does the hoteliers are coping with this situation?
Well, they're having a hard time just promoting themselves in different ways. We are trying new things, you know, to just to survive here, because we're not getting tourists here. So
okay.
Yeah, if they enter the country, they might not have to self quarantine for at least 2 weeks still. So you know, getting a visitor, even tourists or MICE visitors, it's kind of impossible for now.
Mm-hmm. And I can see on the chat box we have 50 students coming from Wusong University sharing this seminar. So welcome to all the students as well. Dewey, one last question that I have
Sure.
for you, because I don't see any question coming from the chat box yet. You know, other than the financial support and also the technical support that you provide to event, has Seoul Tourism Organization organized your own event?
So I didn't get that. Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yes. Have you yourself organized your own MICE event?
Since COVID-19?
Yes, correct.
Well, small things we have. Small things like MICE supporters gathering kind of things. We organize small things, but you know, we have to keep. Now it got better, but until last week we had to keep inside less than 50 delegates, and outside events less than 100 delegates.
Oh,
okay. We couldn't go exceed that limit. So yeah. You know, we did that under those circumstances.
Yeah, great. I'm really sorry that putting to you on all this on spot with all these questions, but there's one question from our fellow speaker Mike William. He's asking, is Seoul putting a lot of focus on the domestic market, since that, you know, we cannot have any international people coming in?
Domestic market, yes. Domestic tourism is boosting here a lot. To like Jeju, Busan, Gangwon province, you know. Yeah, but we are being very cautious on that too.
Yeah, okay. I think I like what you say with the word cautious, because you know, as much as we all want to get the industry to kick off again, you know, we still need to be very cautious, because safety, of course, is the biggest priority. Just to add to one more thing to all the audience following us, ICA Congress will be held 1st to the 3rd of November, and I'm happy to report that Seoul will, with the knitting industry, or if you're academia and you're interested to attend the ICA Congress Hub in Seoul, we can always go to our website, icaworld.org. We can see that Seoul Hub is one of the venue, and they also have a great program and great speakers, along with all the international speakers from around the world as well. So again, thank you, Dewey, for your presentation.
Thank you.
So we will move now to our third presenter. I hope that they are ready. Francis and Ellie, are you there? Would you like to unmute yourself? Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
hello.
How are you both in Suwon?
Yeah, very good. How are you, Noor?
I have not seen you for a long time, Francis. You look like a university student with your dressing this morning. You look very young. Okay.
Yeah, it has been a while, really.
Yeah, okay. So if you're ready, please do your presentation. Take your time. We have a lot of time. And again, to all the audience joining us online, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to send it over through the boxes down.
Okay. So you can see my slides now, right?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, my name is Francis, and this is...
Yes, I'm Ellie Kim from Seoul Convention Center.
Yes, and Today we are going to talk about how Suwon is dealing with pandemic and what marketing strategies we are proceeding in order to deal with pandemic. But before that, I guess a lot of you don't know about Suwon a lot. So please let us explain about Suwon briefly first. Suwon is a city of history, and it is located right southern part of Seoul, and it takes only half an hour from Seoul. And we have 1.2 million people living in Suwon.
Yeah, so one of the strength is convenient transportation. We are located at the center of Gyeonggi province and very close with Gangnam, Seoul. It takes just 30 minutes by the subway.
So why Suwon? As I have said, we just opened Suwon MICE complex this year. And we have a beautiful traditional World UNESCO Heritage, Suwon Hwasong Fortress. And headquarters of Samsung Electronics is located in Suwon. And Samsung Innovation Museum is one of the most famous industrial inspection in the world. And Suwon has 200 years of history. We have UNESCO World Heritage, many leading firms in the world, and also famous for food, such as beef reef. And Suwon MICE complex has everything. And I think in the near future, once after pandemic, we will, I hope, really hope we can become one of the most famous MICE complex. Ellie, can you explain more details about our complex?
Yeah, well, in this complex, we have department store, 4-star hotel, and also aquarium. So we prepared all the things for successful event, and we explain these venues as a mini version of COEX in Seoul. Yeah.
Yes. And as you can see in the photo, we are right next to the lake and we have really beautiful scenery. Plus this lake, we have water circulating system, so it never get polluted. And as you can see in the photo, we have really efficient transport roads and MICE complex full of enjoyment.
So I think there's no other city where it has a kind of this lake view just next to the center. So, and it is our strength point when we promote our center.
And other than MICE complex, there are a lot of things you can enjoy. You can enjoy beer and chicken and a beautiful UNESCO World Heritage and urban levee, which is inside of the lake and beautiful at night.
So we had some methods for prevent spreading COVID-19 and to give positive and safe images to visitors. So could you explain what we did?
Yes, like Seoul, we are having quarantine door, QR code scan for verifying visit, and we do disinfections. And Suwon is becoming more and more famous for our preventive measures and becoming well known in Korea and in the world. So 2000 International Federation of Biomedical Laboratory Science 2022 has chosen Suwon for their World Congress, and Codex 2021 has also chose Suwon for their Congress. And other than these preventive measures against pandemic, we are focusing on marketing strategies, digital marketing strategies. We are operating Facebook and YouTube. And also we are connecting this Facebook and YouTube and our website. So we are making our own online platform. And since we can't meet our buyers overseas, our team members are recording about our events and our center and Suwon City as a video. And also we are using a lot of technologies such as media facade for our Suwon Hwasong Fortress and AR video game mission for Suwon Hwasong Fortress. All right, so you can hear our voice, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So for the video, we have just made in Korean, and hopefully in the near future, hope we can make it in English. And at the end of October, we are planning to have hybrid events. So a lot of people can join us online, but at the same time, they can join us offline because a lot of buyers and sellers, they actually want to have face-to-face meetings. So we have cooperated those two things at the same time. And Noor, if you have some time on October 30th, can you join us online?
I will try my best.
All right. Thank you. Yep. So like this, we are having more and more hybrid events. And as you have seen in this video, we are having a lot of cameras and acryl, and in order to prevent pandemic, and at the same time to have hybrid events.
So, as you know, we are combined with CBB at the center, and we try to give various support programs who considering host event in Suwon. Actually, many hosts are satisfied with they can get all the information about center and financial support program at one time.
Yes, and as you have seen, Suwon is located inside of Gyeonggi, and Gyeonggi Tourism Organization has planned really hot events, which is a good travel. Because of pandemic, people can't go to the hotels or tourist attractions. So they made a campaign where they can buy tickets in advance and they can go to hotels or tourist attraction later on. So, and this event has been really successful. And other than that, we are planning to have many hybrid events and more of promotional videos. And since we have just opened last year, every event which becomes a new brand of Suwon. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie and Francis, for the presentation. You can unshare the screen now. So I think we still have a couple more minutes as well before the next presenter. I think you mentioned a couple of things that you also provide support because the bureau in Suwon also manages the convention center. And I think from the video you have shown, I think it looked very exciting that I wanted to go to the place as well. You have the shopping mall, you have all the attractions and things to do and restaurant. But what are other things that the bureau are doing, especially to bring in domestic tourism? Because I think that is the immediate business that you can get instead of the international business.
Yeah. Like Seoul, we are providing financial support and administrational support for domestic organizers as well. And at the same time, we connect those organizers to our MICE complex so they can have a discount for the hotels, shopping malls, and aquarium.
Okay. Also to the audience who are still with us, please throw in any question that you have through the Q&A box or the chat box. Because I think to me, I've been to Suwon, but even though it's many years ago since we last met, it's a very green and sustainable city. That's my good impression about Suwon. But I think the real hard question is that, of course, every city in the world want to bring back business. And the only business you can bring, as I said, is domestic business. So other than the financial support, and also you mentioned in your presentation support letter, what other thing that you are doing to instigate, especially in the MICE sector, whether it's events, conference, concerts, how are you looking at that space?
Oh, that's a very hard question.
Yeah. Sorry to put you on spot.
It's okay. Other than those support, we are collaborating with Gyeonggi tourism organizations.
Okay.
So we do connect other tourist attractions to our organization to do the pre and post tour. And at the same time, we, on behalf of them, we do promote their events on our website, YouTube, and Facebook. And also, we are working with Swan City, and Swan City is publishing magazines every month. So we publish their events on magazines as well. And we do promote their events on a lot of medias that we own our partnership.
So there's another tough question for you here from Mike Williams. He's asking, are the Korean city governments, because the bureau, of course, belongs to the government, providing any additional support to help revive the MICE sector, or is it the same kind of support that you're providing now?
They're providing similar kind of support, but more aggressively and more wide range. And at the same time, they are supporting us, and I think they are planning to support us in terms of meeting technology.
So, different cities have different priorities. Some cities would be focused more into their biggest industry. For example, like if the city's biggest industry is manufacturing, then the government of the city would like to get the manufacturing plants to be back on business, and so that they can revive the economy. So how important is the MICE segment for Suwon City? Is it on the top of your list, or in the middle, or at the bottom for the government of the city?
I believe it's top since we just opened last year. And also MICE Complex, they started to open this year as well. And next year, there will be Gyeonggi provincial government located right next to our center. And from the subway to our center, everything will be connected on the ground, just like COEX. So it's going to be a huge MICE complex, just like COEX area. And the city is actually supporting us a lot to promote our MICE complex.
Okay. So thank you for that answer, Francis, and also Ellie. I think she has just moved to the side. I couldn't see her on the video.
Sorry.
So you look like both of you also the actor and the actress for the video just now.
Oh, thank you.
Good homemade video. So I'm just going to check very quickly. Is Kunichapa back with us, or she's still not yet? Kunichapa, are you there?
I am here.
Yes, you'd like to turn on your video, please. So thank you,
Sure.
Francis. Thank you, Ellie. So for the audience, we already had 3 presentations from 3 different cities in Korea. That's Goyang, Seoul, and Suwon. And now we move to the international destinations. So Kunichapa, Sawadee-kap. How are you?
Sawadee-ka. I'm very well, thank you. How about yourself?
Not so bad. We have, just like you, I suppose, that we have so many webinars, online meetings. So, half of our life, or more than half of our life, has gone virtual. So how's that picking up for you, Kunichapa?
Well, I think in Thailand, the business is already reopened. Everything is back to the sentiment of business is there. The government has already reopened the country. So that is a very good news to Thailand. And I am very happy that I will have the opportunity to share with everybody here.
Yeah, I do not want to take the words out of your mouth anymore, because you have prepared a presentation to all the audience. So please proceed with your presentation, please. Thank you.
Okay, allow me to share a little bit of the Intel. Okay, hold on a sec.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Can you?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Now,
to reshare again. And you need to click on the screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on a second, please.
Sure. Now there's a button on the left that says next. Bottom. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you, No, and also Goyang Convention and Visitor Bureau for having me joining this international, the Goyang Destination Week, and also allowing Thailand to be part of your Goyang, the event that you are having. I would like to share a little bit about what Thailand has been doing at this very moment. I am sorry, I don't see my slide. So let's see if I can adjust anything.
We can see your slide actually on the Thailand situation, but you can't see your slide.
I can't.
It'll be tricky.
How should I?
So maybe you like to stop share the screen first.
Yeah.
Okay, you have done. Can you share the screen again? For the audience, we have tested this, all went well, but you know, when on
it always happens. This is mine. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to update you a little bit on the current situation of Thailand. We have been COVID-free for almost 5 months now. That is a very good news, and that makes Thailand to be one of the best country in Southeast Asia in terms of least infected case in Thailand. All the new cases are all imported, and I believe that this is one of the results from the government's stringent, the monitoring and also administration program that they have always been launched since day one, early February. And with that, Thailand has been ranked. Okay, Thailand has been ranked in terms of recovery index from GCI, the global COVID-19 index, as world's best in terms of virus management. And according to the US News and World Report, they had recently done a survey with more than 6,000 business decision makers around the world on the topic of year 2020, how to start or where to start, the best city to start a business. And according to the survey that they have done, Thailand also ranks top in terms of the best city to continue or even to start the business. And that is a very good reason why the WHO has chosen Thailand and also New Zealand for a film documentary on successful models for handling and curbing COVID-19. The document has already been filmed at the National Institute of Health Department of Medical Science in July 2020, and the documentary is in the production. So right now, I am happy to report that the current situation in Thailand, we are operating as, I would say, normal or new normal. The business has fully opened. MICE is fully opened with no limitations in terms of size, and there's no closure of any public area. The government already opened the sky, so there will be a series of international groups coming into Thailand starting this. We already had the first group from China, and a series of international travelers are lining up starting this Sunday onward. So that shows how safe and resilience in terms of monitoring, administrating the COVID-19 that Thailand has now been doing. I would like to share with you also a little bit on what the government has been doing in terms of since the outbreak of COVID-19 since February. The government has already injected the economic stimulus package of around 150 billion US dollars. They put it into 3 phases. Majority of the package goes to SMEs. For example, they provide tax relief. They also provide cash handouts, and they reconfigure sort of series of supporting funds to all the SMEs, MICE included. So when we were hardest hit earlier in probably February, March, April, those are the periods that everybody was on shock, and the government came in aggressively with the packages, how to soothe the operations. Of course, over the times, we have heard about the development on the vaccine, and we hope that the vaccine can really come in, like many news said, by the end of this year. But again, the traveling sentiments can really come back when everything is conducive enough for them to provide them enough confidence and all. And I believe that the fact that Thailand has already welcomed series of international travelers can be a solid proof on how safe Thailand can be. When it comes to MICE, TCEP has been very alert when it comes to crisis. We have all the past crises to thank to, and we learned from our lesson. So we decided to operate in crisis mode since February. By the time that we made that decision, we already set up what we call MICE COVID Center, which is operated by a dedicated team of TCEP, because we believe that when it comes to crisis, communications is always key. So in addition to the communications, we also come up with the online or technology assistant to the vendors. We came up with what we call virtual meeting space. We have the program to upskill human capital. We also come up with or team up with series of associations and also public health, Ministry of Public Health, to come up with the first ever health and safety guidelines for MICE industry. This is the information center that we set up since February. The primary role is to monitor, compile, and assess the information on the pandemic, especially those that will have the impact on MICE industry, so that TCEP, as the center of MICE sector in Thailand, we can produce a necessary recommendations. That's the primary role. The secondary role of this MICE COVID Info Center is to share whatever government regulations or news or updates that are relevant to the operations of that business. So we can have one streamlined and one single message from one source. We would qualify, validate, and then we work with the industry partners from the associations, both international and also domestic, to look at the short-term solution, medium-term solution, and also long-term solution from the happenings on that moment. So it is 24/7 for the team, but I believe that we have done, that gives us getting closer to not only to the stakeholders as the suppliers, we also get closer to our consumers and customers internationally. We also come up with what we call 3R strategies to revitalize MICE industry. We have the response plan, we have the recovery plan, we also have the restoration plan. A few examples of the response plan: we immediately lower our support criteria so that the organizer can have a better access to fund or grants. We also promote domestic MICE. Thailand is lucky enough and fortunate enough that we have varieties of domestic destinations. So while the international is in shock and they are handling whatever they have to handle at that point of time, we have to promote the business and keep MICE ecosystem going. So we have series of supporting funds to promote domestic MICE. We also give special funds to venue so that they can install tools and necessary educations to their staff so that they can enhance their service, they can keep abreast of the knowledge and also the implementation of some practices that would best serve the customer, regardless of whether they are the domestic customer or international customers. We came up with what we call online platform, and we named it as virtual meeting space. Basically, this is the online platform that we provide to the organizers in case that they want to host a webinar or online meetings, or even they want to shift their offline to online. This virtual meeting space can be a complementary platform to all industry players to come in and capitalize. The one that I am particularly proud of is what we call MICE Hygiene Discipline. This is the program that we have been working with the our relevant associations to, first of all, the intention is to show the government while the government had ordered a lockdown, especially closed public area and MICE of business. Maybe it was in March and April. So we team up with the association and we say that we have to show the government that MICE can be operated safely and there would be no new cases from any attendees that go to or visited any events. So we sort of studied and come up with series of practices, and right now, and we also invite the representative from the Ministry of Public Health to join in as task force so that they can qualify and validate the system and the process. And this is the very reason, because of this MICE hygiene discipline that we created, it is the very reason why the government had made decision to reopen MICE since June. And therefore, starting from July onwards until now and until the end of the year, we have series of events that are lining up that had already organized and in the pipeline to be organized until the end of the year. I would like to share with you a little bit of the clips. It is 4 minutes long, so I will just to give you a glimpse of what the video is introducing on the practice. And this, we use this video as the sort of education video to all the stakeholders so that they can have a similar or a single practice that they can follow all across the nation. And I hope that the video would work. Perfect. Sorry, it's in Thai, but we have English subtitle.
Kunichapa, can I ask you to stop the video, please, because we don't get the sound.
You don't get the sound.
We don't get the sound.
You don't get the sound.
Yeah. So what you, if you can stop the video, you look at the top of your screen.
Yes.
There's a share screen button and also the audio button. Can you share the audio there? You see anything?
Share screen. Hold
then
on.
on the left side there is like share audio. No?
Share audio?
You can't see that?
Okay, let me see.
The
Okay.
icon, if not on the top, you can look at the bottom where you see the little microphone at the bottom. But otherwise, yeah, you can just try to play the video again because you have the subtitle, so maybe that's okay as well. Yeah, you can play back the PowerPoint. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's fine. It's okay. Okay.
You need to click at the yes, play the PowerPoint. Yes. Okay, play the video.
Do you have the sound?
Not really, but I think we can because you have the subtitle. Maybe that's okay. I think.
Okay. Let me try it again.
Okay, sure. I think it's just okay to play back the video because you have the subtitle. Yes, click that.
Okay.
Click the PowerPoint play. Yes. It's not playing.
I don't think it works. Okay. Allow me to stop share a little bit and
Okay. Yeah.
technical.
Yeah. So for the audience, just give us a bit of time to rectify this.
I think my PowerPoint.
Can you share screen and open your PowerPoint again?
Share screen. Let's see.
Yes, we can see your screen. You just need to play back the PowerPoint. On the bottom right, yes, correct. Yes, okay. Okay, let the video play. Thank you.
สถานที่การจัดงานไหม
การติดเชื้อไวรัสโควิด -19 ต้องติดสัญลักษณ์ประจำตัวให้เห็นชัดเจนก่อนเข้าพื้นที่จัดงานหากพบผู้มีอาการต้องสงสัยเข้าข่ายติดเชื้อไวรัสโควิด -19 จะไม่อนุญาตให้เข้าสถานที่จัดงานโดยเด็ดขาดและให้คำแนะนำในการป้องกันการแพร่กระจายโรคเพื่อนำไปปฏิบัติอย่างเคร่งครัดจัดเตรียมห้องพยาบาลเพื่อแยกผู้ป่วยที่เข้าข่ายติดเชื้อไวรัสโควิด -19 ออกจากพื้นที่จัดงานการจัดเตรียมสถานที่จัดงานติดตั้งจุดบริการแอลกอฮอล์ล้างมือให้พร้อมและเพียงพอในทุกทางเข้าออกและบริเวณต่างๆที่สำคัญโดยรอบสถานที่จัดงานสำหรับผู้ที่มีอุณหภูมิเกิน 37.3 องศาเซลเซียสจะไม่อนุญาตให้เข้างานเพิ่มความถี่ในการทำความสะอาดและฆ่าเชื้อไวรัสโควิด -19 ทุกพื้นที่การให้บริการโดยเฉพาะบริเวณจุดสัมผัสต่างๆอย่างน้อยวันละ 2 ครั้งเพิ่มความถี่ในการดูแลรักษาความสะอาดระบบปรับอากาศให้มากยิ่งขึ้นลดความแออัดของผู้เข้าร่วมกิจกรรมเช่นจัดสถานที่ประชุมให้กว้างขวางเพียงพอและควรมีระยะห่างอย่างน้อย 1.5 เมตรบริการอาหารเป็นชุดสำหรับรับประทานเดี่ยวโดยกระจายมุมบริการอาหารและเครื่องดื่มไม่ให้เบียดเสียดกันการดำเนินการส่วนที่เกี่ยวข้องกับพนักงานผู้ให้บริการต้องสวมใส่หน้ากากอนามัยทุกคนเพื่อสร้างความมั่นใจให้แขกผู้มาใช้บริการเจ้าหน้าที่ฝ่ายดูแลคุณภาพและอาชีวะอนามัย
Okay, I think I will stop share the video. For those who are interested, you can contact me and I will be more than happy to share. Yeah. Okay. Now, when it comes to the recovery, of course, the whole intention of the recovery is to make sure that we kept the whole economy, the ecosystem of mice going. Basically, in the past, we want to drive the business, but right now we want to sustain the business. So the new support campaign for business events will be the nickname of the campaign. I call it COVID-19 because it is super generous to the organizers. And we have deployed across MICE and also mega event industry. For example, for meetings incentives, we have Ease Up campaign, where we have almost 500,000 funds. We also have a matching funds from the private sector. And this is where partnership really kicks in. Because in the past, everybody depends on the government subvention program. And right now, every government in the world, they need to provide some funds just to make it a relief fund for the situation. And therefore, this is where the private sector jumps in and join with the campaign and make it a very one of a kind in a sense, because for example, for those who bring in 20 people, if you book 20 room nights, you will get extra 20 room nights complimentarily, that kind of thing. And that is called Ease Up campaign. For convention, we have Convene Plus. We have series of program tailor-made by size, by region, and by legacy. So in terms of mega event, we have what we call festival economy. We also come up with Thailand Power Up campaign. The more legacy you can create into the community, the more grants you will have. So this year, not only we provide with the COVID package, ease to access to funds, super generous funds, we also use that as tools to create partnership with private sector. We also use that as a tool to create the understanding with the community so that they can also chip in. We use that to promote sustainability because we want to promote and make sure that whatever events that go to any community, the benefit, not only in terms of economy, but also in terms of social and environmental, must be there for the specific community that the event would go to. As for exhibition, we have re-energizing exhibition with, once again, a very good and generous plan. We have come up in order to stay current to the industry and the situation where technology would play an important part. We have set up the MICE Technology Marketplace. TCEP has a team that go out and search for a relevant application or technology that would make the event hype the event, both in terms of touchless experience, but also the customer engagement experience as well. So we had shortlisted the technology and online service providers for MICE events, and then we sent this shortlisted to the organizers, or they can come in and see and shop the technology that they would want. We also provide what we call tech voucher for the organizers. So in addition to the general, the supporting funds that they will have, they also have extra funds for them to use technology and bring technology to increase the experience and facilitate attendees in that events. When it comes to the restoration plan, we are working and continue to work on visa support. We already have special visa type for the COVID visa type for international travelers. We also have the program to exclusive market, like certain part, especially in Asia. We also have certain program for luxury market. We also have certain program for specific industry. And we are working on homegrown conventions. Right now, conventions has been interrupted by COVID, and the global rotation has been disrupted as well. So instead of waiting for the global rotation to return, we are working with our friends in Asia to come up with Asia Convention for Asia. Of course, Korea can be one of the best friends to join in this Asia Convention initiative. I'm happy to say that the past weeks, we already have a group of more than 150 delegates from China coming to Thailand with a charter flight. From this Monday onward, we will have another group of more than 150 from, again, China. And the next group would be from Scandinavia. And also the list continues. This is once again the solid proof that the government has made decision to reopen the sky. We have rapid tests, the rapid test, the COVID rapid test, the instant test, and the government is now looking into a possibility of reducing the quarantine. The basic concept of quarantine is to make sure to provide safety both in terms of the travelers and also for the citizens. And since we had managed the system quite well internally, so the government is now working into reducing the quarantine period from 14 to 5. And then once the vaccine is in effect, then there would be no quarantine. But again, right now, we are continuing opening the country for more business groups. Now, convention, a little bit on the convention, specifically on the convention, we are now developing and incubating new talents so that this new group would be able to create new convention experience. We are now working with the team to come up with the digital and hybrid business formats and how we can make the events profitable or in terms of monetizing how to balance the cost and also the event by itself and come up with a profitable model. We also have been working with the association to come up with what content that the industry should focus on or create, especially once the COVID has been lifted. We're also working on the digital platform, and this digital platform must be able to provide easy access across numerous tools. We use AI to capture big data to generate the monetization strategies, because when we come to convention, when we come to hybrid and online, pure virtual, hybrid, face-to-face, the monetization is different, and we need to be able to assist the association on that front, and we have been working very closely with them. We are hyping up the stakeholders engagement so that we can make sure that the confidence is there for people to travel, also to empower the big confidence as well for the association. The new supporting scheme, we call it Convene Plus. There are more on this. We also plug in the legacy element into it, so that even though so that the event can really translate or provide answer to any specific legacy, either economy, either social, or whether it is the environmental area. We are now incubating bid agents so that we can increase Thai team to go out and do more bids. And this, with that said, I'd like to thank Noor and also Ika for being a great partner in this initiative. We have been working very closely with the association, like I said. So all in all, I would say that Thailand is ready. The business is ready, the industry is ready, the rules and regulations are ready, the travels are ready. If you're ready to travel, we are so ready to welcome you. And I hope that we can see you and welcome you soon to Thailand. That's all that I like to share. Thank you for the opportunity. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you, Kunichapa Kokungkap, for the presentation. I think it's very well covered. I think when you talk about the 3R, the response, recovery, and restoration, I think that really shows that as a National Convention Bureau, you're looking beyond just what's happening now, but how do we actually put our act together for the future of our industry. We have one quick question from the audience. The question is coming from Davin. The question is, can Thailand hold convention or exhibition now? If can, will measures be taken to limit the number of visitors?
Right. Yes, we have been opening, the MICE has been in full operations since July. So all conventions, corporate meetings, domestic incentive groups, and now we are open for international incentive groups. An exhibition had already been organized in Thailand since July. So we have more than 70 events that had been organized since July. There is no limitations in terms of numbers. The organizers will have to observe the new SOP, which first of all, everybody will have to wear masks, and then everybody will have to observe the social distancing. So the organizer, they all are now being given the application track and trace and also the crowd management application, where TCEP had already managed to work with the startup, and also we bring that to and give it to all the organizers to use that. So maybe there could be limited number of visitors per hour, and then the rotation would continue. I would have to say that this practice has been done since July. So right now, I would say that all organizers are the expert on how to rotate the crowd, and all visitors will be able to visit the event safely.
Amazing to see what you're doing in Thailand, because your population is also quite big, especially in Bangkok. You will have more than 10 million population, and you have a very low infection rate, even compared to Malaysia, for example, where I'm located now. So maybe something in the air in Thailand, or maybe something in the food, tom yum kung, that really make you all
well,
healthy.
I don't know. But I would say that it is how the government sort of tell they know how to communicate, and they in face. We have a daily broadcast in TV from the government showcasing the new cases and give out all the facts. They use that as a two-way communication. They listen to what the population has to say. The population can get a direct access to the communications and also the latest information on what is going on. And the population see by themselves that, okay, by wearing masks, and I would say that the top secret of Thailand is everybody respect, and we have the discipline of mask wearing. I believe that is a personal vaccine. The genuine vaccine is in the process. Because wearing masks, and everybody now knows that if you want to protect yourself, mask is the only vaccine that you can have. And you will see that when you go out into the street, for those who are not wearing masks, they feel at all, because they would be watched by everybody.
Sure. I hope that you can stay with us towards the end, because we still have some other question and answer at the end.
Sure.
But I think I just want to let you know, Frank Young from Kintech said that TCEP is doing a great job. Lots of program that they have learned from your presentation today. So again,
thank you very much. I'm happy.
Yes. Thank you. And we will go to the next presenter, because we have two more presenters to all the audience. So from Korea, we have moved to Thailand. Now we're going further down south. I'd like to invite Datuk Sri Kani Daud, the Chief Executive Officer from MICEP. Datuk, how are you?
Hi. Alhamdulillah. Very good. Thank you. How are you now?
You're loud and clear, and your PowerPoint is up. And also in your PowerPoint, there's a video. I'm hoping that this time around the video will have the sound.
Inshallah.
So please, I leave the floor to you to share with the audience what Malaysia has been doing during these challenging times. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramat, for giving me the opportunity to be with the Goyang City. And then I'd like to congratulate Nepacha, from Thailand, for having a great program to restore confidence on the mice sector in Thailand, and they already more than 5 months, having no infection in Thailand. But in Malaysia, we, for a while we are quite happy, but lately, last week, some states in Malaysia have been ordered under the lockdown again. In fact, I'm traveling to office today with less traffic because of the lockdown. The government have instructed Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, Putrajaya, and Sabah to be under CMCO again to curb the third wave of COVID-19 in Malaysia. Hopefully, we could contain this COVID-19 spread in this area so that we can be back into business as normal. In fact, since July 23rd, we already opened up our business for my sector. We have been doing a lot of event. In fact, MySap itself has had a few events with more than 600 participants, 300 physical participants, and then we have more than 300 on virtual last August. Unfortunately, we have to reschedule many events lately because of the new ruling by the government. Indeed, before I proceed, I'd like to, can I move my slides?
Can we have the tech team to move the slide, please?
Is it shift? Okay. I'd just like to share a bit, before COVID-19, my sector has contributed a lot to our industry in Malaysia. If you can see from the slides, the economic impact from this sector is around 10.4 billion ringgit. And then we have conducted whole 2,608 events in total since 2010 to 2019. This give a total economic impact to Malaysia is around 16.56 billion ringgit. This has gone. We are predicting more of event for this year. In fact, we have 103 events supposed to be held this year in Malaysia. Unfortunately, everything has been postponed. And then I'm looking at a new strategy, coming out with a new strategic marketing plan for 2021 to 2023, and hoping that our borders can be open by end of the year, and the world, can access to a vaccine for COVID-19, so that everybody will have confidence to travel again. Since the lockdown took place on the 17th of March, throughout the world, Malaysia spent our effort to also come up with our own SOP to make sure that everybody follow the advice by the government. We have been working very closely with the Malaysian Association of Convention and Exhibition Organizers and Suppliers, known as MASYOS, to be known as MASYOS, and also Business Event Council of Malaysia, BECM. I must thank our stakeholders, who are under MASYOS and also BECM, who are tirelessly, working on these SOPs to be endorsed by the government of Malaysia. In Malaysia, everything to do with COVID-19, there is only one channel that we have to follow, which is National Security Council. So these SOPs have been sent up to National Security Council for their endorsement, and then we have implemented these SOPs. The revised version was on the 13th of June 2020, and then we also come up with advisory program for Malaysians to follow strictly this SOP, especially when it comes to doing events on 23rd of July when we open up for business. Okay. Besides that, after we have these SOPs developed and then endorsed by the government, myself come up with a program to stimulate the interest among the industry. Again, though we know that most of the industry players are having difficulties at the moment, having no business since March this year. But with the decision by the government to open up my sector on 23rd of July, last July, we have seen a lot of events happening in the country. The last that I have attended was in Penang, organized by Elite Expos in Ambraha on the gold event, jewelry events happening at Penang. We have quite a good visitors then at Penang. But for myself, to stimulate, to create more interest among the Malaysian to promote MICE, especially the industry players, we have collaborated with the industry partners, the venues, the airlines, the hotels, and corporate sectors to come up with a program called Meet in Malaysia. This is to target domestic and also future business from overseas to have the PCOs and the MCs to promote our region continuously. For Let Meet It Locally, under the Meet in Malaysia campaign, this is purely targeting at domestic. The government has decided that now myself also to look into domestic MICE sector to support national meeting incentive conferences and exhibition. We all know that a lot of Malaysians have been traveling abroad, organizing events abroad, incentive abroad. So now everybody cannot travel to anywhere around the world because our borders still closed. So this incentive has created a lot of cushion to our business in the country. In fact, we have been receiving a lot of requests from locals to organize events in the country. And of course, Let's Meet Tomorrow, as I mentioned, this is also to support a regional and international meeting incentive conference and also exhibitions. Okay. The objective of Meet in Malaysia is to support Malaysia's homegrown and or domestic business events and also industry players, and also to encourage hosting of inaugural homegrown event in Malaysia. Because currently we have been importing a lot of events from overseas, especially when it comes to sporting events. We have been hosting Ironman, for instance, that's been happening in Langkawi every year, but this year has been postponed. Hopefully, we can host them again next year. But while waiting for the international event to come back to Malaysia, we are encouraging the locals to also come up with their own events. This is not only limiting to the sporting event, but also to organize their own conferences, homegrown incentive program in Malaysia. These are the things that the objective we are putting under Meet in Malaysia campaign. Also to create sustainable homegrown for national and also for international events. Of course, with Meet in Malaysia campaign, we want to boost the economy and also the domestic business event industry. This is very important because at the moment we could not host any international event in Malaysia. And of course, we would like to inspire local organizers to continue planning for the international audience. This come under, I think the other the other bureaus also have been doing to have a virtual conversation as what we are having now to engage with the international audience. And of course, to foster a collaborative industry relation to develop competitive offering. This I have said earlier that Meet in Malaysia campaign is a collaborative effort between MICE and our industry partners in Malaysia. If you can see, under our Meet in Malaysia campaign, we are cooperate with industry partners to promote corporate meeting and incentive. Under this sector, we give them city tour, dinner, and meeting packages, and then we have reduced our support number from 100 to a small number up to 30. To as small as 30 pack for us to host them. This is to encourage our industry, our PCOs to organize meeting in Malaysia. And also under convention, we are working with venues and also with F&B and travel agents to reduce cost for venue. And then we have lowered the number of participants up to 50 in order to stimulate back the business. And of course, under the trade exhibition, we also working on giving special rate on hall rental, and we're giving full day tour and culture performance and accommodation for hosted buyers and marketing and also on-site support. Under Meet in Malaysia locally, we are covering convention, corporate meeting and incentive, and also trade exhibition. You can see here under Meet locally, we have 3 packages to cover corporate meeting and incentive. We have package A for participants, local participants from 30 to 59. We are giving them 2-night stay at participating hotels, and also 1 city tour, and also for a meeting with more than 60 to 149, we are giving them dinner. We're hosting them dinner, and also they have to have a 2 minimum stay at a participating hotel. For the package C, if you have 150 to 250 packs, or local participants, we are hosting a full day meeting, but they must have a full 2-night stay, at a participating hotel. This is for convention. Under convention, we have a special package assistance from 6,000 up to 30,000 subsidy for venues or F&B, or travel arrangement for invited speakers. And then the number of delegates we have reduced to 50 packs for this category, and then they have to have a full day, 2 full day meeting at our participating hotel and venues. And of course, under trade exhibition, we are giving up assistance up to 60,000 for hall rentals, 60,000 ringgit for hall rental, a full day tour, culture performance, and VIP souvenirs. And then they have to take up a minimum of 1,500 square meter gross space, and a minimum local trade visitors. We reduced tremendously up only to 800 visitors, and then a minimum programs only for 2 days. And then under Meet's in Malaysia, let's meet tomorrow. We are also offering one-day meeting packages. Of course, it won't happen this year, but we are offering this now for the international PCOs to continually look at Malaysia as their venue, future venue from next year until until the dates that we are going to announce when we're going to stop this program. But I like to say here, these offers we open up from now. The international PCOs and these MCs could apply for this program from now for the program to happen in the future, whenever our borders is open for international visitors. And the minimum packs that we are looking at is only 120 packs with 10% of international delegates, or only 12 packs from international, but they have to organize a 2 full day meeting at a participating venue. We have prepared, a few packages for them to grab under this program, especially for the trade exhibitions. The package A assistance up to 67,500 ringgit, but they have to have a minimum gross space utilization of 1,500 square meter with a minimum 10% of net space. So, and then the international, the visitors, local, international, is around 1,000 to 2,000 minimum, with only 10% of international visitors. And the package goes on up to package C, whereby we're giving the assistance up to 381,000 ringgit, for a minimum of 9,000 square meter gross space. So these are the assistance that we are putting up, to assist the stakeholders and also the organizers around the world under the Let's Meet Tomorrow. Beside that, we are continuing with our, subvention program that we have been created before under Corporate Meeting and Incentive Malaysia Twin Deals 5. This is we are carrying on with the program. Under the deals, we have reduced the number of participants to a minimum of 30 pack, whereby we will provide souvenirs for more than 80 packs. We were giving a complimentary culture show for more than 150 packs. We are giving a photo booth and welcome banner, as well as a complimentary culture show at the gala dinner. And of course, for more than 250 packs, we are putting our sponsors for gala nights and also more items there. Under Deal 2, this is to encourage the PCOs to choose Malaysia as a destination. We are giving iPads, if they are able to bring a cumulative number of packs to a minimum of 500. If they are more than 1,000, they will get 4 days and 3 nights free and easy vacation. For 2 person in Kuala Lumpur, with return air tickets, as well as accommodation at 5-star hotel in Malaysia. And of course, if they are giving for more than 5,000 packs, then they will get more than 2,000 packs. They will get 5 days, 4 nights free and easy vacation, return air tickets, and also accommodation in Malaysia. And of course, special cumulative rewards also provided under this campaign to continue stimulate the interest and then making Malaysia as Asia best destination for convention and incentive. Okay, these are the packages under exhibition. We continue with this program, exhibition enhancement package. The support that we are giving is, there are 4 categories of supports up to 140,000 ringgit of support with a gross space of the minimum is 1,000 square meter and minimum of 1,000 packs. So these are the packages that international professional congress organizers can or exhibitors can enjoy from MySEP's program. The next one, I would like to share with you our promotional videos that we have developed. This is during June or July. Once we saw that, the decrease in the number of COVID-19 infection in Malaysia, I hope this video, still valid because the Ministry of Health in Malaysia are working very hard to contain the third wave of COVID-19 spread in Malaysia, especially in the Sabah state as well as in Selangor. The rest of the states in Malaysia are basically well contained, and hopefully this will give some ideas to the international visitors, especially the organizers, to continue to look at Malaysia as their destination for convention, conference, and incentive in the future, and also for the exhibition. I hope I can play.
We're all familiar with the greeting Selamat Datang, and today it means so much more because we literally mean the safe in Selamat. From intimate studios to world-class convention centers, with globally recognized capabilities and infrastructure, as well as excellent service standards. Malaysia's extraordinary measures in responding to the COVID-19 pandemic has proved effective and is acknowledged as one of the best in the world. You will have a safe welcome because safety is a priority for our meetings, conventions, and exhibitions. We observe international health and safety protocols to ensure the health and well-being of all delegates and guests. As Malaysians living in the new normal of today, we heed the call of our fellow compatriots to come together in support of local businesses to revive our economy. Tourist hotspots and popular sightseeing locations take special measures to ensure the health and safety of visitors. No matter where you travel in Malaysia, whether from Kuala Lumpur to Malacca, and Johor, or to Penang, and Langkawi, or even across to Sabah and Sarawak. When you are welcomed with greetings of Selamat Datang, rest assured that it is selamat and safe to meet in Malaysia.
So, when you're ready for your meetings and incentives, conventions or exhibitions, we are ready to welcome you and your delegates. Come to enjoy Malaysia's world-class facilities seamlessly blended with our traditional hospitality to make you feel safe and comfortable. Selamat datang and let's meet in Malaysia.
That's it, Matt. Meet in Malaysia, be greater together. This is my belief that working together will make us greater. If you work alone, if we are working alone, it will be difficult for us to move to what we used to be. So I like the idea of Dicapa just now that we should work together as a team in order to bring back the business into the country or into our region. Thank you, man.
Okay, thank you, Dato' Sri Kandi, for your presentation. Very clear of what Malaysia is doing, moving from Let's Meet in Malaysia locally, and then also Let's Meet tomorrow. I think this is a great initiative because this is something that you can do very, very immediately. I think there's one very good question actually coming from our audience that is from Devin again. He's asking, now there is a phenomenon of anti-globalization because with this pandemic, people seem to be controlling their own destination, and also we see there's more and more trade wars around the world. Will exhibition activities will be affected with this kind of sentiment?
Well, I reckon the business area is something that the business people will continue leading it. But as a bureau, I think we will continue to bring or to create the interest among the organizers to bring or to organize exhibition around the world, because rotational basis of events that are happening in the world now. Like I give example of MIFF, Malaysia International Furniture Fair, which created by Malaysia. Now it's become a global event. It rotates around the world. So it's something that will continue happening in the region. But as a bureau, we will continue to create the interest among the organizers to bring their exhibition to other countries as well, so that they can actually tap the businesses from each other country. Of course, with the new technology that we are having now, a virtual exhibition, whatnot, it will actually distract a bit of the physical exhibition. But I'm sure in the future, people still wanted to see physical products, meaning going into exhibition.
Thank you, Dato' Sri. I hope that you will stay with us towards the end because we have a short Q&A session. We are just a bit behind time, but I think it's a great presentation by both Thailand and Malaysia. I hope that that can give a lot of ideas to our audience, whether they are from Korea or from abroad. Our last speaker, last but not least, from a fantastic destination that has had surge of new wave, but they have come back very strong to curb. And I heard that now the numbers are going very, very small. Is that true, Mike?
Absolutely true. Yes, we're down to less than 5 a day cases, and hopefully we're going to have lockdown disappear in the next couple of weeks, we're hoping, and that puts us on par with the rest of Australia and New Zealand, and there's already travel starting to take place between the two countries as well.
Yeah, for the audience, Mike William is with a company called Gaining Edge. They are a consultancy company, also an ICA member. What they do best is they do track a lot of what's going on. But we have quite a limited of time, but still hope that you can share with us what's going on in the region, Mike. Yes.
Will do. Thanks, Noor. As Noor mentioned, our company, we get involved with destinations all over Asia Pacific and also around the world in our consulting work. But what I'd like to do is wrap up with some of the key observations we've made in terms of successful strategies to counter the COVID crisis and what destinations are doing it well. I'm not going to mention much about Thailand and Malaysia because they've already come up, and also Korea because that's already been showcased today. So I'll talk a bit about the destinations that haven't been mentioned on this presentation. So let's kick off with the, just 2 seconds. Let's kick off with where we are now with the current situation in, I'm not sure why this is doing this. Okay, 1 second, just let me get the slides moving again. You can give me 1 sec with this thing going. Okay. I think the biggest question mark we all have at the moment is how uncertain the marketplace is at the moment. Nobody really knows. There's a lot of predictions and forecasts coming out at the moment, but nobody really knows what's going on with COVID and how long it's going to last. So nobody can actually say that everything's going to be better next year or the year after, because we're still going through a lot of things that are making it very difficult to assess. We know that in June 2020, the UNWTO said that there was a 24% drop in tourism in the Asia Pacific region, which is a fairly significant, massive drop. There's nothing that's had that impact in recent times. Nobody knows what the recovery timeframe is really going to be. There's concern about the severity of the second and consequent waves of COVID. There's the development and distribution of vaccines, which they're saying realistically won't take place until middle or late next year. There's the current travel restrictions between countries. There's the lack of travel confidence. There's the extent of economic disruptions that's taking place across all economies globally. And there's the ability for destinations and countries to recover. A lot of countries are going into massive debt to going into survival strategy, trying to stimulate the marketplace. So it's quite a difficult situation at the moment. I was reading an article recently in the trade media about there was a part of Singapore tourism roundtable, and they were talking about the pandemic and its impact on the industry. And I thought that the quotes from Keith Tan, the CEO of Singapore Tourism Board, were quite accurate. He was saying that we're not really tackling something that has a short-term solution. We're actually in a marathon, and we have to be in this for the long run. We can't look at short-term fixes to this pandemic. And what they were also saying during this particular conference is that we really need to rethink how we're presenting our destinations. Our brands have had to seek out new growth opportunities. We have to retune our business models. We have to unlearn old habits, and we have to adopt new ones. And the only way out of this uncertainty is some agility and creative innovation. I think some really good examples, particularly coming out of Nityapar's presentation today, about what they're doing to innovate and bring the industry up to speed to address this pandemic. The way out of this is a roadmap that is a collective roadmap from the industry and government to really look at the short, medium and long-term consequences of COVID and planning together how to do that. And there are a number of destinations that are doing this very well at the moment. And I'm not mentioning Thailand because Thailand's done a great case study today, but I'll mention some of the other destinations that are in similar positions and starting to look at how to get their way out of this situation. What's really important and what's come out of this whole crisis is this realization that we are all very much interdependent on each other. So how the policies of one nation are going to impact on the rest of the region or the rest of the world. We're waiting for everybody to open their doors, lift travel restrictions, to get together and start building the MICE industry again. So we're all very interdependent on each other. And nothing has highlighted this more than COVID. So how is our recovery going to take place? The recovery is only going to take place through collaboration. Collaboration between industry, through government, at a city, state, national, regional, global level. It's working complementary products and services together, technology industries and the MICE industry. And it's working with competitors and building up competitive alliances to address this. This is the only way we're going to see ourselves get out of this situation. And there are many areas in which we need to collaborate across the board. We can share COVID practices that's been done today. We can look at how we present to government. One of the challenges we all have at the moment is getting government support to support the revival of the MICE industry. The government is in survival mode at the moment, with many industry sectors affected, not just MICE, but tourism and other manufacturing sectors are all being affected. So how we collaborate to put our business case to government to secure future funding and support for the industry is critically important. We can work together in creating MICE industry-wide safety procedures at a city level, but also at a national level, so that we can convince the world and our regions and our clients that we are all safe destinations. We need to be looking at our event support programs, adjusting our subvention programs collaboratively, and not, as I think Nichapa said earlier, it's not just government that needs to do this. It needs to be a collaboration between the private sector and government. We need to go through a transition to digital platforms. We can't ignore the future of digital age. We need to look at cooperative marketing platforms where we can pool our resources together to present and promote our destinations. Governments have limited funding, private sector has limited funding. The only way to get out of this is to really pull what we can together to market and promote our destinations on digital platforms. And CVBs play a critical role in this collaborative effort. You are the portal, the information portal for the rest of the world, the rest of the MICE industry, the meeting and event planners around the world. That's where they go to. They want one source to go to try and find out more about what's going on in your destination. So working together, creating these portals. I was very impressed by what Thailand has done with its COVID information portal. We can go to one place and find out what the current status is of COVID and what sort of support services are provided within Thailand to make MICE events happen. One of the things we all really need to realise and understand is that we're going through a major transformation of our industry. And this has been happening with a lot of industries for quite a number of years. If you look at the auto industry, the pharmaceutical industry, the financial industry, the sports industry, they've all gone through this transformation over the last decade. And now we have what's called BTEC, the Business Events Technology Age. It's time for our industry to embrace the digital technologies available to enhance our industry and build our industry. You can't ignore it, and you can't hope it's going to go away. It won't go away. What's really important to also understand is that although we're in a virtual world at the moment, there is a really strong push to go into the hybrid space. And hybrid will play a significant role in our transformation back to on-site events. But I think one of the important things to understand is that hybrid will never go away. Now that there's huge investment taking place in hybrid technology and AI technology, hybrid will play a complementary role to business events. So if your bureau or destination is still got their head in the sand about the technology side of things and saying, we're not going to do anything, you must be thinking about how do you digitize your destination and your suppliers in the marketplace. You need to look at how you can actually enhance and take advantage of hybrid technology and how you can actually make it work for you. And hybrid events can provide a lot of benefits and complement on-site events. They can extend the time frame of events. They give audiences 24/7, 24-hour, 7-day-a-week access to events. They extend audience reach much greater than they can on-site. They can benefit local, remote locations because there's less reliance on easy accessibility. So for those regional destinations in Korea and in Thailand and in Malaysia and other parts of the world, you've got the opportunity for these smaller destinations to become a player in the international MICE space because you've got this hybrid option of having both on-site and hybrid access to your events. So you should be thinking about how you can actually help support the development of your regional destinations through hybrid. There's obviously a cost benefit because the costs are lower, but also there's challenges with the revenue, but they're also being addressed by the industry at the moment. You can create greater content through hybrid events. You can have speakers from all around the world join your event without the expense of bringing them on site. And they're more freely available to do online presentations than they are to actually fly to a destination. You can use hybrid events to promote live audiences and live attendances to future events, and you can increase ROI. There's a really good case study recently in China, the World Intelligence Congress, which was a hybrid event. And they had 340,000 exhibition views, 100 million viewers, and 700 million page views. This could never be achieved by an on-site event. So you can see here that hybrid technology is actually bringing a much bigger audience, more business opportunities to MICE events. So in fact, you can actually make hybrid events work for you. What's also very important is this concept of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is enhancing hybrid events and creating better opportunities for things like networking and business matching, where you can actually meet people that you may have never met before. And it's accessing audiences that previously you could not get access to, that would not attend on-site anyway. So you can actually use hybrid technologies to actually enhance your on-site events and build your on-site attendances over a period of time. Destinations that are very proactive have been running pilot events to test the technologies, to test hybrid, to test AI, to test safety procedures. And these are destinations that will be, and working closely with their governments to align the procedures and safety protocols with their government protocols, which I heard was also spoken about from Malaysia and Thailand as well. Venues are embracing the technology and looking at how they can do it. And there's some really good examples. The Marina Bay Sands, the ICC in Sydney, the Melbourne Convention Centre have all brought in broadcast studios into their venues. The ICC, when they put their broadcast studio into their venue, they've had huge demand for that particular facility, and it's now become a profit centre for that particular venue. There's been huge demand for both corporate and association sectors. The DMOs and convention bureaus are really moving in all sorts of directions to adapt to the new technologies. And you've got virtual site inspections, you've got Hong Kong providing online business matching platforms. Business Events Sarawak has put all their, is in the process of putting all their promotional platforms on a virtual platform, from their virtual roadshows to skills training to hybrid industry events and conference legacy initiatives. Singapore, a great example of what Singapore is doing, which is similar to what Thailand is doing, is it's identifying technology companies that can partner with and partner with the MICE industry to develop the technologies and enhance business events. My suppliers all around the region are also innovating at a rapid rate. You've got organisations like Pico based out of Singapore, but with a presence across Asia, Events Air, MCI, the PCO company, Info Saloons, are all looking at how they enhance the digital technologies to enhance on-site events as well. So the suppliers are now moving in that direction, and what destinations should be doing is encouraging them to embrace this new world. I heard reference before about globalization. Is it in danger? Globalization, in our view, is not so much in danger, but there is an increasing focus on regionalization. There's a lot of companies hastening they're trying to secure up their supply lines within a region or within a country. So there's a hastening and emergence of semi-autonomous regional blocks. And according to the Boston Consulting Group, 40% of companies are planning to make permanent changes to their supply chain structures, which includes regionalising their supply chains. This actually creates opportunity for MICE in the region. And there's a lot of trends that were taking place before COVID that are helping this and enhancing this. You've got regional trade agreements. You've got nearly every country in Asia has an economic diversity agenda, diversifying their industry sectors, diversifying and creating new industries and investing in new technologies and other types of industries. This is great, a great incubator for creating events and creating new events. You've got the emergence of regional associations, which was taking place prior to COVID, which will continue in the post-COVID era. I know that Malaysia particularly has been focused on association development. Korea has been doing the same thing, and so have places like the Philippines been looking at this as well. There's greater investment in the region by IMCs in research and development and tertiary institutions. And there's a great expectation that as the domestic economy starts pulling up, the regional focus will be very strong. So I really encourage you to think about regionalisation, how it works. Let's take a quick look at some of the regional destinations and what they've been up to. And again, I'm not going to mention the great work that Thailand is doing, and Korea for that matter, and also Malaysia. But there are a few destinations that I wanted to showcase and talk about what they've done to really address this COVID situation. I mentioned the importance of collaboration, and collaboration is critically important. over 10 years ago in Australia, they formed an organisation called Business Events Council of Australia. And I know there's a Business Events Council now in Malaysia as well. But basically one of the challenges in Australia, and I'm sure it's similar in other countries, is that there is a lot of industry associations in Australia, and they look after their own industry sector, the exhibition industry, the convention industry, the incentive industry. They all work in different fields. So there is no collective voice talking to government about how important our industry sector is. And that's what's really important for us to move forward, is to work together as an industry to put our case to government. The government at the moment, all governments around Asia and the world at the moment are being faced with a crisis, an unprecedented crisis. And they're being approached by every industry, not just the mice industry. They've been approached the oil industry affected by the COVID virus for help and support. So we need a collective voice to be putting our business case to governments and talking to them about survival and recovery and moving forward. And Becca in Australia was very successful in bringing these organisations together from the different mice sectors to put the business case to government. And they were able to present a case to demonstrate the size and value of the business events industry, how much it is worth to the Australian economy, how many jobs were, how many people were employed by this industry. And they also presented a case to government about how much business is being lost in Australia since COVID came into place. 96% of all events were cancelled or postponed in Australia during 2020. And the business is worth between $29 to $35 billion to the economy. And as a direct result of this case to government, there's now a COVID-19 recovery and rebrand framework for the business events industry. There's an extension of the government's JobKeeper subsidies for industry sectors hardest hit by COVID crisis. And the Prime Minister recently announced a $50 million funding for the business events industry, which has never been given to the industry before at a national level. Singapore is also one of the role models of the Asia-Pacific region. And when I was actually putting together this presentation, Noor asked me to put together some good case studies of destinations around the world. And I have to tell you, the best case studies are in Asia itself. And some of them have been presented today: Thailand, Malaysia, and Korea. But Singapore is certainly one of the leaders in this. And one of the things that has worked really well in Singapore is that they've learned from previous crises. They have put together a resilience roadmap. They work together, the government and industry, between the Industry Association, SASIOS, and the Singapore Tourism Board, and an organisation called Enterprise Singapore, but also a number of other organisations as well. Singapore is currently in the process of rebranding the destination as a destination, as the world's most trusted, safe and innovative MICE destination. So they're repositioning the destination in the face of this crisis. They've developed citywide safety standards, as you mentioned today. They're investing in hybridisation and innovation solutions. They're investing in capabilities and skill development within the MICE sector. They're helping businesses with their business models and looking at helping support them with risk analysis and growth opportunities. They provide funding for business improvement to try and improve companies to adjust to the new COVID environment. And as Noor mentioned earlier, they've also introduced rapid testing to try and get events happening at a much faster pace and not have to have long quarantine things. In other parts of the region, you've got places like Hong Kong that introduce online business matching. They've adjusted their event support programs to provide subsidy supports, including 100% venue rental subsidies for the Hong Kong Exhibition Centre and Asia World. Meet Taiwan is very interesting. They were one of the first and quickest to recover from the COVID crisis. And one of the things I was looking at the other day is their portal for what they call the Taiwan Global Anti-COVID-19 Pavilion. And this is a portal that shares their strategies on COVID with the rest of the world. And this is a great example of sharing knowledge and expertise with everybody. And they have, they're sharing all the case studies of what they've done to try and address the COVID crisis. And they've shared this not just within Taiwan, but they've shared this with the world. And to me, that's a very commendable collaboration. And the other thing we're finding within the region is that the industry associations themselves are starting to cooperate. And one of the best initiatives that came out earlier this year was the collaboration between ARPC, ICA, and UFI, where they came out with guidelines addressing the COVID-19 requirements for reopening business events. We know this is happening in the Asia region between different industry associations. And even in Australia, our biggest competitor is New Zealand, and the two major organisations there, MICE organisations there, signed a landmark agreement to cooperate and solve issues affecting the MICE industry. So I encourage Korea and Malaysia and Thailand and Singapore, all these destinations to collaborate and share. As the saying goes, we're all in this together and we need to get out of this situation together. And I wanted to give you a good example of a what I call co-opetition, where competitors work together for the better good of the alliance. And Best Cities Global Alliance is a great example of that, where you've got competing cities like Melbourne, Sydney, Singapore, and Tokyo working together to exchange business leads, knowledge exchange, to share standards, to bring clients and introduce clients to one another, and develop strategic partnerships. These are things they cannot do on their own, they can only do together, and they share resources and pull resources together. I'd like to finish off with a couple of things. One thing that you need to be thinking about with client engagement, how do you communicate to clients now? There are destinations that are choosing not to say anything to the marketplace. They're waiting for the COVID crisis to disappear, but you can't do that. What I'm recommending and what I've seen in the marketplace, particularly in Asia Pacific, is a lot of soft selling. It's more about building relationships with the clients and not hard selling the destinations with videos and presentations and those type of things, but soft selling. It's educating meeting planners on their destinations and what things are taking place to address the COVID crisis. Everything's being moved onto a virtual platform, from virtual site inspections, interactive site inspections, presentations, etc. The industry's hurting, the meeting planners are hurting, the industry's hurting, and the client engagement has to be about helping and advising each other. It's helping each other. It's providing cooperative platforms for your industry to talk to meeting and event planners. I was talking to some clients in Australia and they said they do not want to be approached by convention centres and hotels individually. They want to hear from the destination. So providing cooperative platforms is very important. And they want to know about destinations, what you're doing for the COVID response. And when it comes to support packages, we've seen a lot about support packages at the moment. Destinations need to really think about what they're providing and make sure it's relevant to the current situation. You need to address things like safety and hygiene, technology costs, the additional meeting space, the food and beverage delivery, creating flexible terms and conditions, lowering thresholds for the number of delegates that can, for your events, that can apply for subvention support. And I saw that very great initiative from MICE being lowering their thresholds for support. But most important, it needs to be a citywide approach of both government and industry to create value add and support for the industry sectors. So my recommendations for a roadmap. My recommendation is for a roadmap. It needs to be not just one initiative, it needs to be a collective initiative of the industry to get the city and the destination at a national and a regional level to get this industry moving again. The first thing and the most important thing is making sure you've got a strong business case to government to demonstrate the real value of the business events industry. And I know in Australia at the moment, what they're trying to do is convince the government that the MICE industry can help drive economic recovery, because MICE industry relates to every industry sector and provides platforms for trade investment, trade promotion. So the business case needs to be put that we are not just one industry sector, but we are part of the recovery strategy for the economy. I encourage you to think about collaboration at a city, national, regional, and global level. The government, industry, and academic communities need to collaboratively work together and set up task forces to address the situation. You need this roadmap to mitigate, look at mitigation, recovery, and addressing COVID normal, both short, medium, long haul goals and objectives. You can't do just putting out fires as they come out. You need a roadmap. You need short, medium, long-term goals. You need to readdress your market priorities. For convention bureaus that have never done domestic markets before, it's time to focus on domestic during a transition phase to regional and international. You need to look at product innovation and invest in product innovation. It's digital, safety, upskilling, and creating resources that are focused on these issues. Creating new partnerships with the technology industry, between industry and government, between industry associations, and between competitors. You need to be looking at product marketing, looking at putting your product online, virtual site inspections, social media, interactive information portals, electronic bids, online business matching and presentations, and gamifications are all some of the new innovative products that are fast evolving in the current situation. You need a strong communication strategy now and communicating to the meeting event planners now, and you need to be also looking at COVID normal. And then you need to look at your support packages I've mentioned, and also looking at risk management planning. This won't be the last crisis we face. You need to be prepared for the next time that a COVID-25 might hit, or whatever it might be. And I want to finish with just one opportunity that I think is a great opportunity for the APAC region. When you look at hybridization, regionalization, and collaboration, how can you bring these components together to create opportunities for the MICE sector in this region? Think about the idea of creating new regional events, and I heard TSEB talk about this earlier. Creating new regional events. As economies diverse, there's new opportunities. And the virtual platform provides a very cost-effective way of creating these new regional events, and eventually take those events into a hybrid environment and then into an on-site environment. So it's a really good time to be thinking about new events at a very cost-effective pace by the use of these new hybrid technologies, and creating linkages between regional convention bureaus, between your association communities and your MICE ambassadors, between your industry and your MICE industry, and also with your trade development and investment agencies within your countries. I think there's a really good opportunity for destinations to consider. I'll leave it at that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike, for well-covered presentation. You took us through the journey of some of the best practices around the region, and I think I like very much the recommendation, the roadmap that you have proposed. If I can bring back all the speakers back on your video, if you can turn on your video and unmute yourself. I know that we already passed 12:30 Korean Standard Time, but I hope that we still have maybe 5 to 10 minutes if there are any questions from the audience. If not, while waiting for the question to come up, maybe I will throw this one thing that I want all the speakers to think, and maybe give a short response if you want to. If you do not want, that's fine as well. I think a lot of time in all your presentation, you talk about how destinations are providing support to ensure that the industry come back strong or rebound or reopen. And then I think Mike came in at the end by saying that when we look at not only at the national level, domestically, but also on the regional level, we need to have a collaboration. So my question is that, do you think that convention bureaus, whether you are city convention bureaus or national convention bureaus, would be able to do that collaboration that we're all dreaming of? Because, at the end of the day, if you're working for convention bureau, I know that everybody's busy doing busy, we talk about collaboration, but you are able to collaborate within one bureau to another bureau, but you will not be able to collaborate as a region. So any thoughts on that? Anyone that want to respond to that? Yes, Kunichapa, please.
Thank you. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Like I said, we actually are in a good discussion with a few of PCO's friends and also international association. I would like to push forward the idea and lay on the table, and this is a call for collaboration. Mm-hmm. The idea for Asia Convention for Asia is very solid, and it really does help in terms of putting together the legacy from different thoughts and different experts around the world. Whether or not, whether the pattern of the convention would be hybrid, fully virtual at first, and then go to hybrid, and then at the end of the day, we come back as face-to-face. I agree with Mike and everybody here that it is the time for us to come up with something. So what TSEP has been doing at the moment is that we are putting out a plan. We would like to extend the invitation to regional PCOs and also CVBs to each would come up with their own homegrown conventions that they think has the potential, highest potential to grow it into and have more international elements. And then let's work on the calendar. We can start even next year, early next year, because if we go to fully virtual, then I believe that every country has their own platform to start with. However, the virtual thing, it depends on the technology. And every webinar and every, the Zoom meeting that I go to, we always have the technical challenge.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, we learn by experience. But first thing first, this is my collaboration. I believe that it can be done. I believe that it is a time. And I would like to have another separate meeting with CVBs, with PCOs. The first invites would come out probably by mid next month to go out to our international friends to have series, maybe 2 or 3 Zoom meetings, and then we can start with come up with the next year calendar on Asia Convention for Asia. So to your question, no, yes, we can do it, and let's do it.
Thank you. So I want to hear from somebody from Korea. Anybody want to respond?
Yes, I think it's a really great idea, and I really hope Suwon can join you as well.
Great, thank you. So the invitation has been accepted. So there's already, you need more than one person to be a partner. Mike, on the international level, there is an organization called DI, Destination International. And I think on the regional level, we have the AACVB. So maybe we can create something like a Destination Asia, which not only encompass National Convention Bureau, but even city convention bureaus, tourism officers who are interested in the MICE. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I actually think there's a great need, especially now under COVID, for greater collaboration between countries and destinations to CVBs. AACB has been around a long time, but it's remaining dormant at the moment. It's not an active platform. It potentially is the platform for this to happen, but you definitely need some sort of formal platform to bring these organisations together. I don't know whether ICA would be interested in doing this, but certainly an official platform to bring these bureaus together to do it, and maybe set up a task force within that group to formalise the arrangement. There's been lots of my seminars and webinars over the last couple, and I've heard Nichipar many times encouraging this activity to happen. I know you're a big fan of this idea, but we need to formalise it. We need to actually get a platform together where we invite people together, formally invite people together, and discuss it and set up maybe a task force to really address this. To me, there's tremendous opportunity in this space, and now's the time to jump on that opportunity while we're looking to try and look at how we get out of this mess.
Yeah, I remember that when we are able to travel still, I think about a year ago, during IMEX in Frankfurt, there is an event co-hosted by Thailand, Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken, Seoul was also involved, where, when you go out and do your own dinner function for the buyers, sometimes it's quite difficult because you're competing with so many people. So I think it's interesting to me from an association point of view to see that the bureaus, whether you are national or city bureau, are collaborating together. Even though it brings a very small result, it's still a very good initiative that you put on. Dora, you have any comments since you are the host of our roundtable here?
I'm so honored to stand here with the specialists with more experiences. And I totally agree with Ms. Nichapa Yoswi's opinions that we should cooperate each other for making an initiative for overcoming the COVID-19 situation. And this is a great opportunity to join together and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any other thoughts or comments? Because I don't see any question coming from the audience, because I think the topic that we present is very specific. So maybe there's not so much for them to ask. Or maybe Mike, you want to add any more thing?
You mentioned earlier about Destination International, which I think is it's a good organisation, but it is a bit North American centric. I think it's really important to actually have something homegrown within the Asia region, because the bureaus know and understand this market, and DI is not really active at an international level at the moment. So it needs to be, if it's going to be with an association, it needs to be somebody that knows and understands this region. So it's either some formation of a task force itself, or it sits under an existing industry association that is very active in this region. So, but I would love to see it happen, and I'm a big fan of everything Inchipa said earlier about trying to get this up and running. So.
Because from all your conversation today, it looks like you need the first is a domestic business, and then you need the regional business. I think the international business is far-fetched. It might take 1, 2 year, 5 year. We don't know how long we're going to be in this situation. You might even have to live with this pandemic for the rest of our life. So so we need to re-innovate ourselves, and I think that's been said so much by all the speakers, and I think that's very, very important. We still didn't have Dato Sri Kani online. Maybe he has muted himself and also his video. But any last sentence that you want to share with our audience? Maybe I will start with Dovi from Seoul first, if I can put you on the spot, Dovi. Dovi, are you still there? Do you have any last sentence for the audience?
Oh yes. Well, since there's no question, it's been a very good opportunity gathering with CVPs, domestic CVPs in different countries, Malaysia, Thailand, and I agree with that. With TISA, we could cooperate with to get the way out of this hard situation. So why don't we do this again in the future?
Okay,
for the updates.
Okay, so I go to Francis. Any last sentence that you want to? It's not like your last word, but last sentence.
Yeah, personally, it is really, really good to see old friends like Noor, Kun Nichapa, and even Korean friends, Tohib, since we, even in the same country, we haven't seen for a while due to pandemic. And I think this seminar, like webinar, was really meaningful, not only for me, but for everyone. And as everyone said, I really hope we do have this kind of webinar again and share more information and share what has been updated. Yeah. Thank you.
Dora, anything that you would like to add?
As the event organizer of this event, I would like to express the appreciation for the attendees, and also thanks to the ICA, especially the Noor, the regional director of the ICA. We can have a more high quality of this kind of the webinar. So we are so happy to provide this kind of the virtual meeting to the audience as well. Thank you so much, Noor, again.
Thank you, Dora. And I will leave the ladies to the last, Kunichapa. Mike.
Well, my message is straight off the presentation. It's really important for us to understand that we're all interdependent on each other. We need to really look at how we can collaborate better between competitors as well. We need to look at the opportunities being presented by regionalization, and we all need to embrace digital technologies.
Okay, thank you, Mike. And I think Dato Kani has just rejoined us. Dato, you are just in time to say one last sentence, if you are still there. Are you still there, Kani? No, it's just like, can you hear us? Dato Kani, can you hear us? Okay, now he's connecting the audio. Just give us a moment. Yes, Datuk Kani, can you hear us? Can you unmute yourself? Yes, we are at the end of our session, and I was just saying that, if you have any last sentence or thing that I'd like to say to the audience.
Well, sorry, my laptop has caused problem. I got to change to the phone now. One thing that I'd like to mention here that collaborative efforts, we have to unite. We have to work together. We have to be together, to make sure that business event continue to grow after COVID-19 is over. We all have to pray that COVID-19, will disappear from the world, and then our borders can be opened again for us to travel and meet each other again. Thank you to the Goyang City for hosting this event. In Malaysia, in Malay words, goyang means shake. So you are shaking the world now.
Oh, great.
Right. You're shaking the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Terima kasih.
So you can make Malay as well. So, I leave the lady to the last. Kunichapa, please do kindly.
Thank you, No. I think it has always been my idea or personal motto, I would say, that let's think big, because we can never go beyond what we think. And the only way that we can think big and make it possible is that we need to have the belief that everything is possible. Now that we have come together, and this is the moment that we can make anything possible. So let's think big and let's make it possible. Soon I will send you an invite. If you can come to Thailand, please be here. If not, let's do Zoom. We are forming with everybody's permission. We will form Asia Convention Task Force.
Okay, great. I think that's good. Yeah. I think again, back to all the audience and all the speakers and to our host, Goyang Convention Visitors Bureau. Thank you for this initiative. And I think for some who are not aware, the reason why ICA is involved in this effort is because 4 years ago at our chapter meeting in Frankfurt, this was a suggestion that we should have a round table to allow us to have a platform for us to have this conversation. Doesn't matter the number of people who are attending this session. What important is that we will continue to have this conversation. And I think the industry is important, and what we do and what we have through this conversation really matters. So on behalf, again, all the speakers and also the host, I'd like to thank all the audience for joining us. We hope you stay safe and stay well. Kamsahamnida.
Kamsahamnida.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, No. Thank you, Goyang City. Bye-bye.
So maybe for the speakers, we can quickly take a group photo. Yeah. But Dr. Kani has left already. Okay, we will just take whoever that's still left here. So just smile, and then I will take a print screen for ourselves. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dora. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Dory. Bye.
Bye.